It's the rush hour, which should mean bumper-to-bumper traffic on some major roads throughout the city, but not here on King Street. In fact, there's more pedestrians than there are drivers, and streetcars are just flying by. And new data says from the King Street pilot project shows that TTC ridership has gone up. The numbers show ridership has increased 35% during the morning rush hour during May and June and 27% during the evening commute. There are now more than 80,000 daily riders on the 504 streetcar, and travel times have been cut by 4 to 5 minutes. The traffic restrictions prohibit vehicles from traveling straight along King through most major intersections between Bathurst and Jarvis. Businesses on that stretch were concerned about the loss of business during the pilot, but according to Mayor John Tory, that hasn't happened.
We've done lots of things with reduced and free parking and various other incentives. We've had to get people back to King Street. I think there was a misunderstanding at the beginning that King Street was closed to cars and you couldn't go there anymore, and I think people have now realized you can, and that you can take the streetcar there more reliably as well. But the bottom line is that what you're not seeing in these numbers is you're not seeing a dramatic reduction in business. These are measurements of business before the pilot and business during the pilot, namely right now, and you're seeing it's about the same or a little bit up.
According to the city, customer spending has grown a slight 0.3% over the same months from last year. The pilot began last fall and will run until the end of this year.
All you have to do is basically look at the difference now between King Street and Queen Street, and it's night and day for sure. And also King Street, I find now, has a lot more people on it too. Just in general, it's not congested anymore, which is amazing.
There's not as many cars on the road, and it's a much quicker ride for me.
There's two sides to every coin. I like it. Less traffic is nice, and I think business people will get used to it, and business can pick up too.
Is there a downside to the pilot project?
I mean, I guess it does basically just move congestion to other places within the core here.
I think it's good that they're doing it as a one-year pilot project, because it's not written in stone. You know, they're going to look at it and see how everything works.
Longtime critic of the pilot project, Al Carbone, who is also running for a city council seat, tells City News his numbers are down.
Nice rosy picture they're making for themselves, but you ask any business along King Street, along the pilot project, they'll strongly disagree with him or the city or the numbers. They haven't consulted with us. They never asked me about my numbers. I'm not up 3%.
And what are your numbers?
I'm down on average 30+%. Some days 50, some days 10, some days 20, but average 30.
And what do you attribute that to?
The King Street pilot. The streets are empty. When the streets are empty, there's no people coming in, and there's no foot traffic like they're talking about. They're only passerbys or transient people. The transit people just, bye, nice seeing you, but they don't get off.
And I also spoke with some other business owners along King Street. There's been a mix of reaction to this data, though some agree with Al Carbone and say that business has been impacted since the pilot project. There are also others who say they don't realize or they don't see a change.